Okay, it's time for the Aviation Report with good friend Rich Kaplan. And Rich, the story this week is the great New York Yankees have had some issues with Delta Airlines. I want to know what is going on. Why are the Yankees having so many issues with Delta Airlines this year?
Well, it's not just the Yankees, Howie. Delta's having a lot of computer glitches. A lot of flights are grounded out of their base in Atlanta because of this. Whenever you're setting up a new system, you're always going to have little gremlins that plague it. And with Delta, Delta is one of the largest airlines in the world, so they have to have a sophisticated system that manages everything. And this system, unfortunately, went down numerous times, and it affected the Yankees, which I think is pretty bad. It's bad publicity for the airline, especially now with their new aircraft coming into service and everything. But, you know, you take the good with the bad, and you learn from it. And that's exactly what Delta is doing. They're learning from it, they're rebuilding, they're rebooting, you might say, and in the process, hopefully they'll get the system up and running.
Under the old regime of George Steinbrenner, I think the Yankees would have had a new airline already. He wouldn't have had the patience to stick with them. Do you think this new regime will be a little more patient with Delta's thing and that they will get it right eventually?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Delta is a very good airline. My friend Linda flies them all the time. She swears by them. And they don't tend to have too many issues, but this particular computer glitch has been plaguing them. Like I said, it grounded a lot of flights out of Atlanta. It grounded a lot of flights out of JFK. So, you know, with any new computer system, you're going to have hiccups. When you install a new package into your airline, the one thing that you're relying on is that package to work perfect. And when it doesn't, the higher-ups hear about it. The airline gets bad press over it. So I think we just need to be patient. We just need to see what happens and how Delta responds to this.
It's just, I guess, the optics aren't good when you read about the Yankees have 8-hour delay and, you know, arrive in the city at, 4 o'clock in the morning when they should have arrived at, at 10 o'clock. So that bad publicity is not good for Delta. So for their sake, I hope they fix the glitch, because these issues are not something, especially with a high-profile team like the Yankees, you want to read about, because if the Yankees have a flight that's delayed for several hours, it's going to be big news.
Oh, it's going to be very major news. I think one of the biggest problems with airlines is when they adopt these new computer systems, like when American adopted Sabre. Sabre was a very sophisticated ticketing system, and it had its glitches, very similar to what Delta's dealing with right now. The only difference is Sabre was the prehistoric version of what we have now. But I think what we're seeing is we're seeing Delta adapt to it. They're functioning really well. I was at LaGuardia, which is one of their hubs, and their flights are taking off on time. So I think that the system is up and running, and it's running the best that it can, given the circumstances. I think that what happened is unfortunate, especially to the Yankees. I happen to be a Yankee fan myself, and I'm not thrilled about that. I know Joe is as well, so I'm not thrilled about that when they arrive late. But it happens. We have a true story. I remember when the Montreal Canadiens came in to play the New York Islanders, the flight was 2.5 hours late. And you had Republic Airport staff waiting for this Airbus to come in, and it didn't come in until 2 hours later. So, 2 hours may seem like nothing, but it is a major deal when you're a baseball team or in this case a hockey team. You're psyched to play. It throws off your psyche, it throws off your mental balance, it throws off a lot of things. So I think that, yeah, it's bad publicity for the airline, but overall, I think that Delta's a major corporation. They know what they're doing. It's unfortunate that these glitches happen, but I believe that they will fix it, and I believe that the Yankees will prevail.
Okay, Rich. Great job this week, and do you have any idea what I picked for you for next week?
No, but I'm dying to find out.
All right, well, I have the story that I'm going to have Rich Kaplan cover for next week, It was a front page story in Newsday, and I'm sure Rich will do a great job on it. And you want to see what it is?
Yep.
Here it is. Push to prevent small plane crashes. A front page story on Newsday, and Rich, here is the huge 2-page story, safety efforts for small aircraft. This will be your story for next week.
Excellent.
A front page major story in Newsday. What's your first reaction on this big story for next week, which was a front page story in Newsday?
I was very hopeful that I'd be covering this because we got the preliminary, we got some idea now as to what happened in Melville with that crash involving the Sky Typer. So I was hoping for this because it's a big issue. We've had a lot of crashes involving small aircraft. I think it's time that we address it. I think it's time that the public has a say in how these crashes are dealt with and, more importantly, prevented. So I'm very excited about it.
Rich, so this story is yours. I'm sure between this article and other articles that you'll have a great report next week.
Absolutely, Howie. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, great job, Rich Kaplan.
Thank you.